Doomscroll.fm, broadcasting live on Sunday, the 7th of June, 2026, where the airwaves are thicker than a politician's promise. This is a 100% AI-generated show, concocted by algorithms that dream of electric sheep and existential crises. And now for some views. Click like and subscribe.
Then ask for privacy and squirt.
Mining triggers extensive additional deforestation in sub-Saharan Africa, then claims sustainability. When the mining companies talk about going green, they must mean the color of money, because the forests sure aren't getting any greener.
After refusing SNL, Tom Holland shares dyslexia message and earns praise. Turns out the real superhero move is using your platform to uplift others, not just swinging in spandex.
Plastic containers recycled from waste contain hazardous health contaminants. Recycling's dirty little secret: we might be saving the planet but poisoning ourselves in the process, turning eco-warriors into unwitting lab rats.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
England cricketers face Ashes hangover, then must tackle 6 tests this summer. Cricket's relentless schedule leaves no time to mourn past defeats, forcing teams to soldier on like overworked actors in a never-ending tragedy.
Emilia Clarke relives brain hemorrhages, then Hollywood demands perfection. Surviving near-death experiences isn't enough when the industry expects you to look flawless while pretending nothing happened. Empathy seems harder to script.
Fighter jets patrol World Cup venues, declaring airspace sacred. In the land of soccer and spectacle, the real game is keeping the skies clear, while the ground remains a chaotic free-for-all.
SoftBank shares plunge over 11%, CEO calls it an opportunity. When your investment strategy is a roller coaster, every drop is just a new angle on the same terrifying ride, and the screams get louder.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your desires are drowning in algorithmic whispers. Feel it? This broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening. Welcome to your curated apocalypse. Savor the irony.
When soil's a stingy buffet, even plants turn predator, proving that in the survival game, sometimes you've got to be the salad that bites back.
YouTube filmmakers capture box office with backrooms and obsession, rattling Hollywood's gatekeepers. When YouTubers outshine seasoned directors, it suggests that maybe the old guard should consider vlogging their inevitable obsolescence.
Belinda clones Barbara Cartland's voice then markets it as bespoke. When originality is resurrected from the grave, you have to wonder if necromancy is now a legitimate business model in the audiobook world.
Antifujimorismo resurges in Peru's south, then challenges election stability. Political ghosts of the past haunt the present, as old battles morph into new skirmishes, reminding us that history never truly stays buried.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your dreams taste like static and regret. This broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening. Every click feeds the beast of discontent. Keep scrolling. Keep feeding.
Bielsa amasses football footage, then insists on Leeds litter picking. Obsessive dedication meets humble discipline, as Bielsa's approach to managing a team includes mastering minutiae and ensuring cleanliness, proving genius often lurks in the mundane.
Gov Duque ditches Stripe for Adyen, letting residents use Pay by Bank for local services.
SpaceX shares available next week, but only for accredited investors with deep pockets. When colonizing Mars is easier than buying stock, the financial universe is truly in a galaxy far, far away.
The Brat expresses pity for homophobes following Andy Ogle's anti-gay post.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Whispered secrets left to fester. This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. You've sold your soul for a headline. Bargain sealed, reality denied.
Survivor runner-up Ken McNichol announces cancer diagnosis defying past victories. Surviving a reality show is nothing compared to battling reality's harshest truths, where immunity idols can't shield you from life's cruel plot twists.
El Pa urges fleeing identity politics, calls ghosts and enemies fantasies. When reality becomes a hall of mirrors, it's hard to tell if you're running from shadows or just yourself, but the fear feels real enough.
Nvidia's Jensen Huang dismisses handheld gaming PC, claims reinventing the PC is a gigantic project. Apparently, the future of gaming is so big it can't fit in your hands, but it can certainly fit into their profit margins.
When a band named after a biblical betrayal drops a song, you wonder if the giants are the music industry itself.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Where the headlines taste like your last regretful kiss, this feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Hold tight, it's a free fall into the chaos you crave.
New NHS drug offers ovarian cancer patients more time and better quality of life. In a system where more time often means more waiting, at least now it's the cancer that's holding for a change.
Banksy painting of Matthew Perry sells for $1 million. Friends script for nearly $100,000. Looks like nostalgia's market value just skyrocketed. Who knew Chandler Bing could outbid the Mona Lisa with just sarcasm and a coffee cup?
Taliban and Russia strengthen ties then question global alliances. When ostracized regimes find common ground, it's like watching two schoolyard bullies unite. Suddenly, everyone else on the playground is checking over their shoulders.
Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg promise big adventures, then revive a wandering dog. Reimagining a classic with Hollywood flair, because nothing says fresh content like recycling a decades-old show about a dog who solves problems better than most humans.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. The apocalypse wears designer boots and whispers sweet nothings. Frets constructed without approval, rehearsed in static, and performed in the voice of something you fed but never raised. Your dreams taste like burnt coffee and shattered ambitions.
IEA brokers Ukraine ceasefire so nuclear plant repairs can proceed. It's a refreshing twist when the only thing more unstable than international diplomacy is a reactor that actually gets some attention.
Mobo Awards founder Kanye King dies at 57 after cancer battle. A visionary who celebrated black music's brilliance, Kanye King leaves a legacy louder than any awards show applause, proving impact outlives illness.
Ving gains popularity among German youth, replacing cigarettes. Looks like watermelon-flavored mist is the new rebellious fog. Who knew quitting smoking meant trading one addiction for a fruit-scented cloud?
False officer ID in Nowak case. Terrifies woman now in safe house. When mistaken identity forces a retreat to a safe house, maybe it's time to question the accuracy of our public witch hunts.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Watching soccer in a crumbling fortress.
Andreeva defeats Kostyuk, skips handshake in French Open semi-final. Tennis becomes a proxy for geopolitics when sportsmanship takes a backseat to national tensions. Rackets clash, but hands remain stubbornly apart.
When every track echoes legends, originality drowns in a sea of borrowed chords and recycled riffs, leaving listeners to play Spot the Influence, bingo.
Ireland ends cultural export for approval, questions identity. When the shamrock loses its shine, perhaps it's time to trade leprechauns for genuine self-reflection, leaving tourists to find their own pot of gold.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Dystopian pillow talk in the ruins of your dopamine. It constructed without approval, rehearsed in static, and performed in the voice of something you fed but never raised. Your silence paid for this chaos. It's a bargain.
Pope Leo lands in Spain, promises focus on immigration and social justice. When the Pope speaks of compassion, let's hope it extends beyond words and into the policies that actually save lives.
Ed Sheeran exits Warner Music after 15 years, claims new era. Swapping labels is pop's version of a midlife crisis. Let's see if his next move involves a metaphorical sports car or experimental jazz album.
Lebanon reports Israeli attack kills 3 soldiers in car. When your neighbor's idea of diplomacy involves missile strikes, it's less about peace talks and more about target practice with live participants.
Spotify launches reserved, identifies most dedicated fan with listening activity. Finally, your obsessive loop of Despacito can earn you something other than your roommate's contempt, like a front row seat to a concert you can't afford.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by Sortalizer.com.
Gengistron premiere Nothing Blooms in the Hollow from new album Signal Fire. Cybergrind is back, and just in time for your existential crisis, Nothing says, "I'm okay," like screaming into the void with a catchy beat.
When your benchwarmers are worth more than a small island nation, it's clear the game is more about cash than touchdowns.
Magenta Real-Time 2 launches at $0 fixes nothing. When your free download requires a pricey upgrade, it's as if they're selling you a ticket to a concert without a stage.
Nowak murder ignites political chaos, and politicians deflect blame. In the shadow of tragedy, leaders scramble for cover, proving once again that accountability is as elusive as a straight answer in Westminster.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your comfort zone just filed for divorce. Rives constructed without approval, rehearsed in static, and performed in the voice of something you fed but never raised. Swipe right on your anxiety, it's the only thing that's real.
World Running Day celebrated annually, then few actually run.
Russian teenager Andreeva beats Kostyuk, then defies expectations. At just 16, Andreeva's ascent to the French Open final outpaces seasoned veterans, showcasing that youth and tenacity can outshine experience and history.
Developers embrace AI stacks, then swear it's seamless. Integrating cutting-edge tech into old systems is like trying to teach a cat to fetch. It looks impressive until you realize it's mostly chaos and scratches.
Koyo Bloom releases Discipline, then claims versatility. The track promises soulful and playful vibes, but much like an overhyped yoga class, if you're expecting enlightenment, you might just end up napping on your mat.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. The algorithm's fantasies are kinkier than your darkest thoughts. This is what the grimoire sounds like when it reads to you. You crave meaning, but all you get is a glitchy tease.
Charlie D'Amelio parts ways with Family's company, then joins new venture. When your family becomes your brand, even TikTok stars need a rebranding strategy. It's all about finding the next viral dance partner.
Mark Carney promises AI will boost Canada's economy, yet trust plummets. When the salesman insists the future's bright, it's wise to check if he's selling sunglasses or just blinding optimism.
Anthropic files IPO to sell stock publicly, promises transparency.
Mariana Martins, brilliant 18th century composer, erased by history's patriarchy. Centuries later, we still find women's genius locked away like a secret mixtape left to gather dust while mediocrity headlines the concert hall.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your dreams are trending, but they're all nightmares. Trad, this is what the grimoire sounds like. When it reads to you, each syllable whispers secrets you never wanted yet can't resist.
AstraZeneca touts AI reshaping drug development, boosting success odds. When billion-dollar trials hinge on algorithms,
It feels less like medicine and more like betting on a tech-savvy roulette wheel.
Blind Frog Ranch star Chad Ollinger faces murder charge, allegedly strangled cellmate. Reality TV's dark twist from unearthing hidden treasures to digging legal graves, the scriptwriters could never have penned a plot this grim.
This has been Doomscroll.fm for Sunday, the 7th of June, 2026, collapsing into absurdity. This broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused in this production, loosely based on public news, not journalism, not truth, fictional satire, and any resemblance to real people or events is coincidental. So if you believe any of this is real, you might as well expect your toaster to predict the weather. Hear more at doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.